After over 10 years as a financial advisor, helping families and retirees navigate their financial futures, I've seen some pretty significant financial mistakes that could have been easily avoided. With my MBA in financial risk and having passed the CFP exam, I thought I'd seen it all in the textbooks. But here's the reality. The mistakes I witness in my practice every day are often much more costly and common than anything I learned in school. From successful professionals earning six figures who are still living paycheck to paycheck, to retirees who discover major gaps in their financial plans just years before they want to stop working. Today, I want to share 10 things I absolutely would not do now that I've been in this business for over a decade. These are based on the real world mistakes I've seen with my own clients. Some of these might surprise you, and unfortunately, I've seen the devastating financial consequences of each one firsthand. Let's start with something that might seem basic, but it's a mistake I see with clients all the time. I would never use my debit card for online purchases. And here's why my clients have learned this lesson the hard way. Yes, debit cards have fraud protection, but there's a crucial difference between debit and credit card fraud protection that most people don't understand until it's too late. When someone fraudulently uses your debit card, that money physically leaves your bank account immediately. You're then left in with your bank to get it credited back, which can take days or even weeks. But here's the real kicker. This could happen when you're not actively monitoring your account, causing other bills or checks to bounce. I've seen this create a domino effect of overdraft fees and financial chaos for families. According to the FTC, credit card fraud was the most commonly reported type of identity theft in 2024, with over 449,000 reports. But with credit cards, you're not liable for fraudulent charges while the dispute is being resolved. The money never leaves your account in the first place. Let me share what happened to one of my clients. Someone stole her debit card information and made a $2,000 fraudulent purchase on a Monday morning. That $2,000 came out of her checking account. On Tuesday, her mortgage payment of $1,800 tried to process, but now she didn't have sufficient funds. Her bank hit her with an overdraft fee and her mortgage company charged her a late fee. Meanwhile, it took her bank 8 days to investigate and return the fraudulent $2,000 to her account. What should have been a simple fraud case turned into weeks of stress and additional fees. Credit cards only when buying online. It's that simple. Second, I never pay credit card interest. This is one area where I see even my highest earning clients make costly mistakes. Far too many successful professionals carry credit card balances month after month, thinking we'll pay them off when things slow down. Here's the math that should concern everyone. The average credit card interest rate is around 21%, according to the Federal Reserve. I've had clients carrying $5,000 balances who were shocked to learn they'd pay over $6,300 in interest charges alone if they only made the minimum payments. That's more than the original purchase. But here's what surprised me most when I started this business. I have clients making $200,000 plus every year who still carry credit card debt. They tell themselves they'll pay it off next month, but next month comes with its own expenses, and the cycle just continues. I've seen this pattern cost families tens of thousands in interest over the years. Now, the successful families I work with use credit cards strategically for rewards and fraud protection, but they treat them like debit cards mentally. Every purchase they make on a credit card, they mentally deduct from their checking account balance. This keeps them from overspending and ensures they can always pay the full balance. Third, don't miss out on your employer's 401k match. This is literally free money, yet I'm constantly amazed by how many of my new clients aren't getting their full employer match when they first come to see me. According to Vanguard research, a significant portion of employees with 401k plans don't contribute enough to get their full employer match. I've seen people essentially turn down thousands in free money every year. Let's walk through what I showed one client recently. She was making $75,000 per year and her employer matched 50% of her contributions up to 6% of her salary. When she finally started contributing the full 6% or $4,500, her employer added another $2,250. That's an immediate return of 50% on her money. You won't find that anywhere else. But here's what I helped her understand about the long-term impact. Because of compound growth, that $2,250 in free money each year could grow to over $400,000 by the time she retires, assuming a 7% annual return over 30 years. And that's just the employer match. We're not even counting our own contributions. I tell every client the same thing. If you're not getting your full match, you're literally leaving thousands of dollars on the table every single year. 4, don't miss out on investing your HSA. This is one of the most underutilized strategies I see among my clients. If you have access to a health savings account, don't just use it as a glorified checking account for medical expenses like so many people do. The HSA is actually the most tax advantaged account available. It has triple tax benefits that even Roth IRAs can't match. Contributions are tax deductible, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for medical expenses are tax-free. But here's the strategy most of my clients were missing before they started working with me. You can invest your HSA funds in the market and let them grow for decades. You don't have to use the money for the medical expenses right away. For 2025, you can contribute up to $4,300 for individual coverage or $8,550 for family coverage. If you're 55 or older, you can contribute an additional $1,000. I've worked with clients who have built six-figure balances by consistently maximizing contributions and investing the funds for long-term growth. Here's how I explain it to clients. Everyone will have medical expenses in retirement. By investing your HSA now and letting it grow tax-free for 20 to 30 years, you're creating a dedicated fund for those future healthcare costs while getting immediate tax deductions today. 5. Don't ignore an emergency fund. This is one of the most common gaps I see when reviewing new clients' financial situations. Many high-earning professionals think they're smart by investing every extra dollar rather than keeping cash in low-yield savings accounts. Then life happens, and they're forced to either tap into investments at terrible times or rack up credit card debt. According to recent Federal Reserve data, a significant portion of Americans would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing money or selling something. I've seen this pattern create cycles where clients are constantly stressed about money and never able to get ahead financially. I had one client who was earning $150,000 a year but had no emergency fund. When their air conditioner system died in the middle of summer, they had to choose between selling investments that were down 20% at the time or putting $8,000 on a credit card. Neither was a good option, and both were easily avoidable with proper planning. Now I help all my clients build emergency funds earning 4 to 5% in high-yield savings accounts. Yes, that's lower than what they might earn in the stock market, but the emergency fund isn't an investment. It's insurance. It's there to prevent them from having to make poor financial decisions when life throws curveballs. 6. I wouldn't try to time the market. This is probably the most expensive mistake I witness among new clients. Many successful professionals think their business acumen translates to market timing ability. The data shows this confidence is usually misplaced and costly. I've had multiple clients who moved significant portions of their portfolios to cash because they were convinced the market was due for a correction, only to watch the market continue climbing for months or even years. These decisions have cost families hundreds of thousands in missed gains over time. Study after study shows that timing in the market beats timing the market. Even professional fund managers with teams of analysts and sophisticated tools struggle to consistently time the market successfully. The average investor's returns are significantly lower than market returns, precisely because of poorly timed buying and selling decisions. Instead, I help my clients implement dollar cost averaging strategies, investing the same amount regardless of market conditions. The families who stick to this disciplined approach consistently outperform those who try to time the market. 7. I wouldn't put all of my money into one stock or investment. I see this concentration risk more often than I'd like to admit. Successful professionals get caught up in the excitement of a hot stock or put everything into their employer's company stock, not realizing how vulnerable this makes their financial future. Let me share what happened to one client who worked for a major tech company. He was so confident in his employer that he put 80% of his investment portfolio into the company stock through his stock option plan. When the tech sector experienced a downturn in 2022, he watched 60% of his wealth disappear in a matter of months. It was devastating to witness. Now, I've helped clients spread their investments across different asset classes, sectors, and geographic regions. We build core portfolios consisting of low-cost, broad market index funds that give exposure to thousands of companies across multiple industries. This approach provides much more consistent returns and peace of mind. I tell my clients, the goal isn't to hit a home run with one investment. It's to build wealth steadily and reliably over time. 8. I wouldn't wait until tax time to think about taxes. This reactive approach to tax planning costs my clients thousands of dollars every year before they start working with us. Too many people treat tax planning as an April activity rather than a year-round strategy. I've had clients who could save $10,000, $15,000 annually in taxes if they had implemented simple strategies throughout the year instead of scrambling at tax time. The wealthy understand that tax planning happens throughout the year, not just in the final weeks before the deadline. For hires especially, proactive tax planning can save massive amounts annually. Simple strategies like maximizing 401k contributions, HSA contributions, tax loss harvesting, and strategic Roth conversions can significantly impact lifetime tax burden. Now I work with clients to review their tax situations semi-annually and make adjustments throughout the year. This proactive approach consistently saves families far more than the additional professional fees involved. 9. I wouldn't neglect estate planning. I'll be direct here. I procrastinated on my own estate planning for years, and I see this same procrastination with many of my clients. As a married father of 4 kids, including twin 3-year-olds, my procrastination was irresponsible. I kept telling myself I'd do it next month, but next month never came. It wasn't until we were expecting the twins that the reality really hit me. If something happened to me or my wife, our children would need guardians, and our assets would need to be managed according to our wishes, not the state's default rules. What I've learned from working with families is that estate planning isn't just for wealth. It's for anyone who wants control over what happens to their assets and their family if they're no longer able to make those decisions. At minimum, everyone needs a will, power of attorney documents, and beneficiary designations on all their accounts. For families with minor children, guardian designation is critical. I've seen situations where families without proper documentation had the courts decide who would raise their children. It wasn't always who the parents would have chosen. Don't make my mistake or repeat the patterns I see with procrastinating clients. Get the basic estate planning documents in place now while you're healthy and thinking clearly. 10. I wouldn't go at it alone. Perhaps the most important lesson I can share from working with hundreds of families is the value of having a team of professionals to help navigate complex financial decisions. Even as a financial advisor, I work with other specialists, tax professional, estate planning attorney, and even other advisors for second opinions on major decisions. I've seen too many clients come to me after attempting the DIY approach, having lost tens of thousands of dollars on poorly structured investments, tax planning mistakes, or insurance gaps that could have been avoided with proper professional guidance from the start. This doesn't mean you need to hand over all financial decisions to other experts, but having experts to consult on major financial moves can save you from expensive errors. I help my clients think of professional fees as insurance against financial mistakes. What I've observed consistently is the families who work with qualified advisors tend to have more confidence in their retirement readiness and make fewer costly mistakes over time. These 10 lessons represent over a decade of experience helping families and retirees build and protect their wealth. If you're a successful professional earning over $200,000 and you're starting to get serious about retirement planning, you don't have to figure this out alone. At Trello Wealth, we help families and retirees simplify financial complexity with personalized planning and disciplined investment management so they can move into retirement with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. If you'd like to discuss how these principles might apply to your specific situation, I invite you to schedule a call with our team. You can find the link in the description below.